Hello, everyone, and welcome back to JaianMusic Notes. A new episode has just dropped in your feed, and I'm extremely excited about this one. I am going to be deep diving a cover where I'm going to be exploring every layer, every sound, and the story behind the arrangement. Today's episode is about transformation, both in Dragon Ball and in music. We're talking about the original soundtrack, Vegeta's New Form. It's the final track off of my album, Anime Arpeggios Saiyan Symphonies. And this cover is an ambient orchestral reinterpretation of Vegeta's epic leap into his Super Saiyan God evolved form, also known as Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. A lot of different Super Saiyan form names. It's hard to keep track, even as a fan for me, I'll be honest. It's the kind of moment that deserves a powerful send-off, and for me, this track felt like the only way to close out the album. But before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by Laser Audio Technologies. Upgrade your sound with precision tools built for audio creators. If you use code JaianMusic, you get 30% off any purchase over at laser.io, and every purchase using that code goes directly back into the podcast, such as GoPro Kyo, who does all of the artwork for JaianMusic Notes. His links are in the description. So, the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. Vegeta's transformation into this form first appeared in Dragon Ball Super during the final Tournament of Power arc. This wasn't just a power-up, it was a breakthrough moment for his character. The essentials here is that it's known as the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. It debuted during his battle versus Jiren, and the power level is just stupid high. We know this, just more power levels. And this form is unique because Vegeta achieves it without divine help. It's a transformation born from resolve, especially after his promise to protect his universe was made to his family. It's not about ego, it's about evolution. This cover was meant to feel slightly majestic, but yet internal. It's a contradiction that reflects Vegeta's emotional shift, confidence boost, whatever you may call it. Rather than going bombastic and full cinematic on it, I leaned into something more introspective. I wanted to preserve an ambient aesthetic that defined Saiyan symphonies, but still reflect the power of the moment. So, the foundation of this cover is a classic JaianMusic staple, Halftime, creating this suspended and almost floating rhythm, like layered ringing piano textures, all from Keyscape, each soaked in different reverbs to give it all a sense of vastness, and as if you're hearing the sound echo through the sonic space. Underneath that, there's a subtle buzzing texture, something that simulates both tension and transformation. Think of it like a more spiritual texture for the song, and the dynamics rise subtly without any big drop. It's all about momentum and the inner explosion rather than like a big blast. And I felt like as you listen more and more throughout the piece, the layers breathe out. It wasn't meant to be a musical tension piece like Bad Situation from Naruto. It was about closure, not only for Vegeta's arc, but in the Tournament of Power, but for the album as a whole. This track closes Saiyan Symphonies for me because it's symbolic. Vegeta's evolution represents the culmination of perseverance. He doesn't transform by accident. He chooses to. That matches the entire spirit of the album. Restrained, resolved, and refined growth. And this cover kind of mirrors that with the ambient mood, the piano's clarity, and the suspension of ambient atmospheres throughout. I really think that this cover, for me, I wanted it to be the type of thing that when you hit play on it, you don't necessarily realize the exact melody of the exact song. Because a lot of people who listen to my music will tell me in person or in the DMs or whatever that they're like, oh, I forgot that song existed until I remembered it through listening to your song. Which lets me know that a lot of people don't know these anime soundtracks by name. And you're not necessarily supposed to. And the magic of halftime here is, it as the notes hit one after the other, it brings you back to that moment where it's Goku and Vegeta versus Jiren. And as Toppo always said it, you're second fiddle to Goku, Vegeta. And Vegeta, that strikes a chord within him. And you see him go to a new place, a new level, a new achievement. And I feel like it's such a powerful moment in Dragon Ball. I wanted to highlight it throughout the album. And there's other Saiyan-based tracks here. There's, in the album, there's Broly's theme. There's a theme about Gohan's anger. I liked to lean more into the Saiyan music of the Dragon Ball OST, and Saiyan Symphonies truly is about that. So that's kind of the concept with Vegeta's transformation. It's a track that has a few layers. They're structured that way, and then they play throughout the song, and there's no like additional layers that come in. It's just kind of a set it and forget it. But although it represents a big moment, it doesn't need to be a flashy thing. Not every cover needs to be flashy with like random breaks with them and everything. Yeah. So that kind of wraps up today's episode of JaianMusic Notes. If you haven't heard this song, go stream it now on Anime Arpeggio Saiyan Symphonies. I'll have a link to the album in the description. This was the final piece of that journey, and I'm proud of how it closes out the album. I want to give a big shout out again to Laser Audio Technologies for supporting the podcast. They are incredible. So please go take a moment and use code JaianMusic for 30% off. Every dollar generated from that code, as I said, goes straight back into the podcast. A big thank you to GoPro Keo for the artwork. Go follow him on social media. Go follow me on social media at JaianMusic. All of the links for that are in the description. And JaianMusic.com is my website. Thank you so much. And until then, I'll see you next time on the next episode of JaianMusic Notes. Goodbye, everyone.